The gap that separates the winners from those who never end up making it is that even when you don't see results, even when it doesn't feel good, even when you're not noticing a change, you still consistently build yourself day by day. And then all of a sudden, 6 months down the line, you look in the mirror and say, wow, the miracle happens along the way. So enjoy the journey, enjoy the difficult times. That's what's building you, not the success.
You have to take responsibility for everything bad that happens to you. And this is a mindset. Maybe it's a little fake, but it's very self-serving. And in fact, if you can go the extra mile and just attribute everything good that happens to you to luck, that might be helpful too. Truth of the matter is, people who work very hard and apply themselves and don't give up and take responsibility for the outcomes on a long enough time scale end up succeeding in whatever they are focused on. You're just operating way below potential. Your potential is so much higher than where you are. You have to apply some of that into kinetic. And ironically, that will raise your potential, because we're not static creatures, we're dynamic creatures, and you will learn more. You will learn by doing. So just stop making excuses and get in the ring.
You know, it's a human condition to be average. It's not to be as good as you can be. You know, it's the human condition to survive. Just get along, be average. It's special to get somebody to be the best that they can be, to understand the work ethic and how important it is to earn it. It's the perseverance that it takes to stick with it when things don't go right. When your expectation is that things will be difficult and you're going to have to do certain things to succeed, that when things don't go that way, you're not as upset, you're not as frustrated about it, and you're able to persevere, which is always important to being successful.
If I just keep doing the reps, if I just keep my head down and I just keep putting in the work day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, if I just keep showing up, life will eventually reward me. It is true. Every single person that you admire, everybody that has everything that you've ever wanted, I promise you, if you dig into their story, you will see they didn't quit. They just kept showing up. And in those moments when you want to quit, it is so easy to have a bad attitude or be in a bad mood because it hasn't happened on your timeline, and then you quit. Do not do that. Do not do that. There is a reason to keep going, and the reason is the simple truth that if you just keep showing up, life will reward you. And that is how you program your brains to have stamina. That's how you program your brain for hope. That is how you program your brains to move through obstacles, because even if it hasn't happened, it just means it hasn't happened yet.
It takes courage to bloom. So I want you to know that in this season of uncomfortable growth, that you are way braver than you think. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. It's going to cost you your comfort zone and your sense of direction. It's going to cost you relationships and friends. It's going to cost you being liked and understood. It doesn't matter. All you're going to lose is what was built for a person you no longer are.
Everything in your life is a reflection of a choice you have made. If you want a different result, make a different choice.
Everybody has a desire to do something, but they don't have they don't know how to really complete the process of dedicating themselves and having the discipline to do it. If you got the desire, you got to match that desire with your dedication, and you got to match it with your discipline.
No idea how limitless you are when you don't care what other people think or say about you. It is fear that drives that. It is. And most of your mates that you hang around with are just as afraid because you pick somebody like yourself to hang around with.
If you feel like you lost your way, I would say congratulations. If you're lost, that only means one thing. You're about to be found. And sometimes you need to lose your way in order to find a better way. Sometimes you need to lose certain things to gain better things. Sometimes certain doors have to close that you want to keep open so a better door can come into your life.
Sometimes the reason that you're suffering is because you just won't let go of the thing that's biting you. And so one of the rules is, if people are impeding your development, you sacrifice your relationship with them. right? It's a very, very rough rule.
Rather than trying to impress people who don't give a shit about you, just start impressing the next 2.0 version of yourself. Like, what would the next highest, most stoic version of you be impressed by today? Would it be impressed by the fact that you're going to bed earlier? That you're waking up and getting your workout in? That you're eating right? What would the future self be impressed by? Make a list of 3 to 5 things and then start doing those things. Like, those are the things I love impressing the future me versus trying to impress the people around me.
I think something that keeps people so stagnant is the fear of stepping into the unknown. You know, staying where we are is painful and we don't like it, but we allow the fear of stepping into the unknown to keep us in situations that we don't even like because we're scared to take that leap. We're scared to really, you know, put ourselves out there and lean into that uncertainty. But you got to understand that uncertainty is a gift. It is a gift.
It's quite possible that things could turn out better than you could have ever imagined. Sometimes scenarios play out in our lives and things don't work out the way that we wanted them to. And the reason for that is because the universe knows that you deserve way better. So, when a door closes in your life that you really wanted to enter, first, breathe it, and then get really excited because the next door will be the one that was made for you.
I think as a human, sometimes you feel like you always gotta wait for the right time, what makes sense to you to actually start executing, to actually stop making excuses, to doing the things that you always really wanted to do. And I'm starting to find myself now being like, nah, there is no right time to do anything. You just gotta start doing.
If you have a goal, you have a responsibility to rise to the level required to achieve it. A responsibility to respect yourself enough to put in the work. It won't be easy, but if it was, everyone would do it. There wouldn't be so many early mornings, failures, or sacrifices. Everything that comes with the struggle is what turns you into the person who's capable of achieving the things that you want. So stop shying away from the challenge. It's your responsibility to face it.
Expecting it to be easy is what makes it much harder than it ever is. And the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people. It won't get harder. Like, this is the hardest part. And so if you can just make it through this, everything else is downhill.
Get to where you want in life, just not in the way you imagined. And that's because the path that's paved is far different to the path we pave.
Just don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do, or can or cannot achieve. Just don't allow it. Just do not allow it. Be whatever you want to be.
Stop tying your value and worth to external achievements. How much money you make, the position at your company, what kind of car you drive. Your value must be linked to something greater than material things that can disappear overnight. Greater than what the world defines as success. Instead of looking out here for validation about your value, look internally. Look at your heart. Look at your intentions. Look how far you've come. Get your idea of your value and worth from that. It will free you in so many ways. Stop looking out here for your worth and value. Look inside and look up.
We believe that the biggest obstacle we have to overcome is out there, and many times the call is coming from inside of our own house. I think that the worst enemy that many people have is the voice that's inside of their own head. Now, this voice has probably maybe come from the outside world, but we've now internalized it. You know, we have become our own worst enemy in some regards.
You have to stay busy. You have to find yourself now. You have to find out who you are. And it's gonna take effort, man. I hate to tell you that because I know it's probably gonna be hard sometimes, but you can do it.
How I keep positive, I'd say, is every time it gets tough, and when I feel like I don't want to do it,
There is someone out there in this world laying on a hospital bed, begging for a second chance at life. I don't think I have any excuse to not go hard.
It's easy to give up. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. And give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
Your current situation is not your final destination. There's more to your life. And I know right now it's hard for you to believe that, but I need you to believe it. Like everything you're currently facing is building you for something greater. You're more than your struggles, you're more than your pain. I know you feel like nobody understands you, nobody gets you. I know you feel alone and isolated. You should flood your life with appreciation. Even for the little things, the small things, for breath in your body, for your heartbeat. Because appreciation is the first step to elevating your life. So I want to tell you, I'm proud of you for not giving up when it's so easy to.
Your work ethic reflects your gratitude, which ultimately leads to your results. The grateful person shows up early. The grateful person gives full effort. The grateful person asks several questions. Look around you, and you can tell those who are grateful by their work ethic. Those who are great in any profession understand it starts with the understanding that you are capable of going from nothing to everything.
But here's the thing, that if you have a very clear vision and you're absolutely convinced and have the faith in your vision, then all the work that you need to do becomes easier because there's a purpose for it.
Haven't you imagined a better life? Okay, who you think he showed it to? He showed it to you. Why you think he showed it to you? Because he want to give it to you. But if you don't work, if you don't ask him for it, he cannot give it to you because he created us with the power of choice.
It's not okay for you to be a weak loser. It's not okay. And the reason it's not okay is because you could be way more than that. And it's a crime, an ethical crime, for you to allow all that necessary potential to go to waste. It hurts you, it hurts your family, it hurts the world. Really, really, it does.
There are two types of pain, the pain of action and the pain of inaction. The pain of action is blunt, in your face, and forces you to grow. For every hour we suffer through sharpening our skills, being proactive, and restoring order, we don't reduce the amount of pain we face, but rather we take it on the chin. We sign up for it up front. And because of this voluntary acceptance, day after day, we gain the strength to shoulder it. By embracing pain instead of running from it, we are simultaneously transformed by it. We become someone we are proud of, someone that others can depend upon, which in turn gives meaning to the pain. And it's this feeling of growth and progress that helps us feel useful to ourselves, useful to others, which gives the suffering a purpose.
I don't think anyone who suffered a tragedy that has gotten through it in some way will tell you, I needed to find deeper meaning in my life. Once something has happened that is a tragic event, a loss, a death, or anything that is a setback, some people numb themselves. But that doesn't mean the pain's not there, it just means you're not feeling it. Tragedy is just too strong, too powerful for the mind to fathom, let's be honest. The mind cannot deal with it. So you have to go deeper than the mind. And the place that's deeper than the mind is love, faith, hope, meaning, and purpose. And that's what you hold on to for your dear life. You can just forge ahead. And some days are going to be harder and some will be easier. Sometimes it's very painful. And if you can move from one day to the next, you get stronger, whether you know it or not. And ultimately what will emerge is a new person, a person that you'll see that you went through the fire and you become a more powerful person in the process.
The single most important thing in your life is your dream. It's your dream. It's what you dream about. If you see it, you can achieve it. If you don't have vision, you can't make it in this world.
You need something to sustain yourself through that. It's not optional, because the price of existence is so high that without that sustaining meaning, it corrupts you, it embitters you, and once you're embittered, things go downhill rapidly. You get vengeful and you get angry and you get destructive, and there's really no limit to that. And I've been suggesting to people that the sustaining meaning that they can find in their life isn't to be found through happiness, let's say, because happiness doesn't work when you're not happy, when things have gone badly for you, even for accidental reasons. But you can find sustaining meaning in responsibility.
Because God sent you here, and no human being came to this planet empty. No matter what you've done, if it didn't kill you, there's more left.
Turn your wounds into wisdom. You will be wounded many times in your life. You'll make mistakes. Some people will call them failures. But I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction.
A fixed mindset is when you believe your talent and intelligence are fixed traits. A growth mindset is when you believe your talent and intelligence are malleable traits, that you can actually change them, you can improve them, you can get better over time, smarter over time, more competent over time. And to do that, you just need to reframe the failure as a learning experience. So that's one of the big ones. People that can really fail without losing their enthusiasm. You've got to stop asking how little you can get away with and start asking one of the most powerful questions in the universe, which is how much can you bear?
You came here loaded, and you came here to make a deposit. And deposit you will make. And if you don't make, you are a generational thief, because you stole from the next generation. The next generation is supposed to benefit from what you came to deliver. And if you settle down on what you've done and not do what you could do, then you rob them of what you came to leave for them to enjoy. And that is why you should never allow what you've done to stop you from doing what you could do.
And take responsibility for yourself, and that works. And then if you do that properly, you can take responsibility for your family. And then if you do that properly, you can take responsibility for your community, and you can continue to burden yourself voluntarily, let's say, with a greater and greater range of existential challenges. And all that does is make more and more and more of you. And that works as an antidote to the catastrophe of life.
Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe.
When you wake up in the morning and your life means something to somebody other than you, that you have a purpose. If you don't go do the things that you're going to do, people's lives will suffer. And I think that kind of purpose, that like to live in service, not to you, but to live in service to humanity, to live in service to your family, to live in service to your church, to your city, to your country, to the world. Living in service is that, I feel like that is the purest form of joy.
Woe is me, it's not my fault, it was so-and-so, they did it to me. I want you to stop that immediately. Remind yourself that you own your life. Remind yourself of cause and effect. Remind yourself that you are in control. You could make a different decision and you could get a different outcome, because you can't control the world, you can't control other people, you can only control yourself. And between that stimulus and that response is your ability to make a different choice.
If you can be still long enough in all of your endeavors, the good times, the hard times, to connect yourself to the source. I call it God, you can call it whatever you want, to the force, nature, Allah, the power. If you can connect yourself to the source and allow the energy that is your personality, your life force, to be connected to the greater force, anything is possible for you.
I'm talking about being honest with yourself about what you're doing, about how you've performed, about whether or not you're being weak in something. Because if you're being weak, the only problem with that is ignoring it, is pretending like it's okay, is not holding yourself to a standard. It's going to happen from time to time, but if you're not honest with yourself about where you are, if you're not having that hard, direct talk, then you're never gonna make progress.
You gotta make a decision. Listen to me. You gotta make a decision. What's the decision? What's the thing you came here for? Now we're at the moment. The clock is ticking. People say all the time, Dave, life is short. Let me tell you something. Life can be long. You bury your dreams, you quit this, life gets long. See, time's relative. 2 minutes of you being with your sweetie, doing whatever you like to do with them, that can go by quick, right? What's about the last 2 minutes on a treadmill? Does that not seem like it goes by for like 4 hours, right? So if you're enjoying it, it's short. If it's painful, it's long. Life can be long.
When you lose your job, when someone you thought you'd be with for the rest of your life said, no, we can't do this no more, that's when you have to stand. That's when you have to begin to live this faith, and that's not on you. That's when you got to call on something. How do you let that mind be in you? You got to be out of your mind to believe in spite of these numbers you can still make it. In spite of the pain you're feeling, you can still come back again. I believe it.
There is no way out. No one gets out alive. Death is part of life, like the contrast between the darkness and the light. Without death, there is no life. And the people that I have lost, they taught me that. They taught me how precious life is, how blessed we are to have every day. To learn, to grow, to laugh, to live. To live. To live every day with purpose and passion. To wake up in the morning and be thankful. Thankful for that morning. Thankful for that opportunity to go into the world and live.
You can do what you put your mind to. And if you continue to put your mind to it, the game opens up new levels. In each new level that gets opened up, you're able to adapt a different mindset and a different approach. You can stop at that level, or you can go, I want more levels. I want more fucking levels.
There are people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season. There are people who come in your life like boosters for a rocket. If you ever watch a rocket go into space, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude. Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes that you're going to. So don't be afraid when they fall off. They're not bad people, they just couldn't go where you're going.
A lot of people are just showing up in life. A lot of people just get up in the morning and they go through the day, they go to the job, just to pull a check down, watching the clock coming in. So you want to be a different kind of person as you forward your life. You want to get something out of this. If you're going to do it, it's worth your time, your energy. You've got some expectations from this. I do not let people waste my time.
say this, the most driven individuals, they live a life for many years and certain times without balance. Everybody strives for balance, balance, balance. So if you say something that was missing, but it was actually a gift, was his lack of balance. You can't be the best at something and try to balance everything else around your life. There is going to be times where things are going to be out of balance.
If you configure your life so that what you are genuinely doing is aiming at the highest possible good, then the things that you need to survive and to thrive on a day-to-day basis will deliver themselves to you. If you dare to do the most difficult thing that you can conceptualize, your life will work out better than it will if you do anything else. There's no better pathway to self-realization and the ennoblement of being than to posit the highest good that you can conceive of and commit yourself to it. And then you might also ask yourself, and this is definitely worth asking, is do you really have anything better to do? And if you don't, well, why would you do anything else? If everything that you're doing every day is related to the highest possible aim that you can conceptualize, well, that's the very definition of the meaning that would sustain you in your life. Well, all hell's about to break loose and chaos is coming. It's like when that's happening in your life, you might want to be doing something that you regard as truly worthwhile. Because that's what will keep you afloat when everything is flooded. And you don't want to wait until the flood comes. Just start doing that, because if your ark's half built and you don't know how to captain it, the probability is very high that you'll drown.
Known hills are preferable to strange heavers because it's familiar. See, life is rough, ladies and gentlemen. It's rough and it's scary. It's scary growing. It's scary taking a chance. It's scary acting on your intuition, on your guts. It's scary. It's frightening. And they're immobilized by fear.
We are taken apart slowly, convinced to take an easier path, enticed by comfort. Most of us aren't defeated in one decisive battle. We are defeated one tiny, seemingly insignificant surrender at a time that chips away at who we should really be. It isn't that you wake up one day and decide, that's it, I'm going to be weak. No. It is a slow, incremental process. It chips away at our will. It chips away at our discipline. We sleep in a little later. We miss a workout, then another. And without realizing it, one day you wake up and you've become something that you never would have allowed. Instead of strong, you are weak. You have to be on guard. You have to hold the line on the seemingly insignificant little things. Things that shouldn't matter, but things that do.
What you gotta do to get the life that God wants you to have, you gotta put more air in your bubble. You got to blow your bubble up. Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. Do not live in your bubble. Put some more air in your bubble. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure.
Don't go through life feeling like you're powerless. Victims are people that are powerless. You're not powerless. You are powerful. You direct the power in your life. Whatever your life is right now, it is a duplication of your consciousness.
You have to consider the price you pay for inaction. People presume that inaction has no cost. You don't get to not make a choice. Not making a choice is still making a choice. Every minute that goes by that this decision is undone is a choice.
Absolutely everything that has happened to you in your life has happened for a reason. You can see that everything is a dot on the map that has led you to this exact moment. It has given you a person or an experience or a lesson or a skill or a bit of wisdom that is now part of who you are. And what I want you to know is that standing here in this moment, you are standing on another dot. And this dot is part of the map that is leading you to where you're meant to go.
I'm talking about making a promise to yourself. So if you say, I'm gonna go work out at this time, keep that promise. I'm gonna eat this kind of food, keep that promise. I'm gonna eliminate social media, keep that promise. I'm gonna eliminate these negative people, keep that promise. And when you start making promises, small, tiny promises that seem insignificant right now, but over time stack up and build massive confidence, that's what you're doing. Because your confidence is really your reputation with yourself.
What's most real might be what's there when the times are hardest. That's a different concept than, the material is what's real. It's like, no, what's real is what sustains you through the worst catastrophe.
We just put things off over and over and over again. Why? Because we haven't accepted it. We don't feel deserving. We don't feel that we're good enough. So we sabotage ourselves by not ever taking care of business. We're getting real busy doing a lot of things. Well, we don't have any time.
Because there's people in the world that have skills and strength and talent that I will never have. All have limitations. Does that mean that I quit? Of course not. I'm gonna try to be the best that I can be. The strongest, the fastest, the smartest. That's what I'm gonna go for. It is possible. How close can I get to that greatness?
Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline and consistency.
The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire. But discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable.
Must be something deeper than what money is. Something bigger than what's on the face of a dollar. The one thing that is bigger is the face that you see in the mirror. Something inside of the soul that only you and God can see that says, there's deeper meaning to life than the job. There's more to you than the dollar amount. You got to get into your calling. You got to get into the thing that you were chosen to do. And the only way you do that is you got to get off the bench.
When people don't have a sense of their purpose, that's an indication of disconnection. But you weren't connected to you. You had been disconnected from yourself, so you don't even feel the capacity to dream again.
And so when you are confident, you will experience temporary defeat. When you are insecure and you lack confidence, you will interpret temporary defeat as failure, and you will give up. And that is how people become average. That is how people stay average. And that is how years will go by and you will see that person become a man.
They had so much potential, but for some reason failed to launch in life. And it is because they accepted doubt and they eroded confidence.
No matter what's going on in your life is not permanent. Everything is going to change. So there's two things you can do with change. You can react to it or you can participate in it. It's gonna change anyway.
Every day you have to plan. Every day. Hard work works.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people. I don't know why. Life is not fair. And that is the reality. So, what do? Are you going to get angry? Frustrated? Are you going to lash out at people? Who are you going to lash out at? Are you going to start going down the spiral of negativity? Are you going to let the horrible situation dictate the way you feel and the way you handle it? Or are you going to lead? Are you going to face this issue with courage and resolution? I say lead. Lead. Step up. Be the one who people look to. Absorb the impact and the negativity. Draw fire.
There's more to you than a person that can pay bills. There's someone there that can turn the world around. You can be the different flame. You can set an atmosphere. You're an entire vibe all by yourself. But the only way that you become that vibe, the only way that you become that difference maker, is that you get out of the dead ends. One road you make, the others are for those that trail after you.
If you wake up in the morning, you start having negative thoughts. Man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. In the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second. And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have. Because what you have is substantial. You just haven't gone over the list and taken inventory in a long time. But the fact that you can walk, that's a blessing. The fact that you woke up, that's another blessing. The fact that you can see, think, reason, that's another blessing. I can give you 50 things you ought to be grateful for right now. I don't even know you. Start coating your mind with gratitude. It'll change everything for you.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you gotta live with. The choice that we have though is either to give up or keep on going. I wanna ask you, what are you gonna believe? Are you gonna believe in yourself? Are you gonna believe everybody else's judgment on you? Are you gonna believe people when they say that you're a failure? No one really likes you, no one really cares about you. Situations that happened that was out of their control. And when you think about when things happen, the first thing we try to do as individuals, how can I control it and how can I manage it? And if I can't control it and manage it, now I'm frustrated and I'm mad about it. In the words of an older gentleman, he told me one day, he said, young man, you can't speed up the river and you can't slow it down. At a certain point, you gotta have some faith.
Maybe you here because you need to hear this. Maybe you here because you need to dust off your dream. Maybe you need to explore your imagination. Maybe you just need to identify your guilt so you can quit tripping in your own life, trying to figure out what you can do when God already planted inside you a long time ago.
You will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain unbroken.
When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked into it. That's what the storm is all about. When you can't control what's happening to you, control how you respond to it. That's where your power is.
So you have this big dream, you can see it so clearly, like it's right in front of you, you can go out and touch it. But the thing about it is somewhere, if you dream big enough, somewhere down that journey, that dream becomes the nightmare. And what happens in that nightmare, so they have all these questions like, why am I here? I'm not good enough. Trust me, I know all about the questions. They will flood your mind. If you do not have the answers for them, you will quit. The answers lie in the repetitions. You must not forget the repetitions you put into trying to dominate the craft that you're in today. Always, always embrace the suck, adapt to the suck.
But I tell you, there are some times in life where you fall down and you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. Pretend that everything's okay when it's not, and you go home and lay in your bed when no one's looking at you, when you don't have to impress anybody, and you're yourself. And fear comes in. Maybe you have doubt in your life. Maybe you don't know for sure what's going to be happening in the future and it scares you. Maybe you're worried about what people think of you, what people say about you. Because that fear paralyzes you. And I just want to ask you today, do you think you have hope?
No, everybody want it. You ask about, what do you want? Man, I want to be diamond. Tell me something I don't know. Everybody wants it. But the raw reality of it is, everybody don't get it. And the crazy thing is, if you want it, you can get it. It's not like somebody stopped you on the good game and told you you can't get it. It's a matter of will, it's a matter of hard work, it's a matter of sacrifice, it's a matter of dedication, it's a matter of commitment.
My number one competition is me. It's always you versus you. You gotta be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work. You versus you.
So cast out the lies, burn them down, and listen to the truth, and live the truth, and go out, get it done.
But it's necessary that you work on yourself, that you develop yourself. It's necessary that you get the energy drainers out of your life. People who don't want anything, people who are not striving, people who are not challenging themselves, people who aren't growing, people who have stopped dreaming. It's necessary that you align yourself with people and attract people into your business who are hungry, people who are unstoppable and unreasonable, people who are refusing to leave life just as it is and who want more. My mother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. If you run around with losers, you will end up a loser. It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life if you want to live your dream.
No one has a testimony without being tested. No one can go into battle and say that they are a weapon of mass impact for God and not be tested by God and see if you are truly what you said you are.
Whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life right now, it can put blinders on you. But it is so critical that you still dream. Why? Because dreams transport you from the day to day. Dreams give you a beacon to look up. Because dreams will remind you that the situation that you're facing right now is temporary. Dreams will remind you that even if the situation isn't temporary, dreams still give you a purpose to live a bigger life despite what you're dealing with. Because they will help you move through the chapter of the life that you're in more powerfully, more grounded, and more fulfilled.
If you want to be truly successful, you must be able to see everything just the way it is, without distortions. If you can see everything just the way it is, life becomes a play. You can play it joyfully, you can play it well, for sure. You should never think, I want to be successful. Don't ever think, I want to be successful. Just see how to make this being into your full-fledged being.
It's necessary to know that everybody won't see it, that everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that. That a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation. That you are an uncommon breed. You know, you have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one else sees it for me, I must see it for myself. That's necessary. Pick something. Pick something. Aim at it. As you move toward it, you'll get wiser. Then maybe your aim will change. That's okay. But at least it'll change in an informed way. It's like discipline yourself in one dimension. See what happens. Well, that's exciting. The best we have might not always work, but it's still the best we have. And the fact that it might not work doesn't mean we should throw it away. It's still the best we have. I mean, everyone dies, and so we fail in some sense. The fact that the symphony ends doesn't mean that it wasn't worth listening to.
In the race of life, life's not going to give you a glass of water when you're thirsty.
Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. But if we don't physically make a decision how we're going to live, then we'll show up like everybody else, because the human mind is not going to make you happy. This brain of yours won't do it. You have to direct it. And there's no worse fate than to achieve everything and not be fulfilled.
The majority says if you go through heartbreak, if you're on your knees because your life is falling apart, rush out as quickly as possible. What I've discovered is stay in as long as possible, because difficulty is growth in wolf's clothing.
Is that people aren't after happiness, they're after not hurting. It's not, so they don't want to be extroverted and enthusiastic and full of smiles and laughter. That isn't what they mean by I want to be happy. What they mean is I don't want to be anxious or in pain.
What you say to yourself matters. And we understand that from a common sense perspective. But somewhere along the line, we have all stopped saying, you're going to make it. You got this. And when you start your day by saying, I look terrible, that's not going to motivate you to change it. And so your sense of feeling like the effort is worth it begins and ends with how encouraging, supportive, and kind you are to yourself.
You complain about your job. You complain about where you are financially. You complain about your relationship. You complain about your opportunity. You complaining. Listen to me. You murmuring and complaining. You complaining. Shut up.
Stop complaining and do me a favor. If you want to make a difference, all you got to do is one thing. This is how you get started. You want something different? Listen to me. All you got to do is make a decision. That's it. And for those of you who've been making the wrong decision, all you got to do is make the right decision. But if you want to make a difference, make a decision. Are you hearing what I'm telling you?
Confidence comes from this, because the disease of lack of confidence is you're obsessed with everybody else thinks about you. What are they going to think? What are they going to think? What are they going to think? That's the symptom. The disease is you're worried about your reputation with everybody else because you don't have a good one with you. If your reputation with self is exemplary, you're not concerned about your reputation with others. So self-confidence comes from one simple thing. It comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. That's it. If you begin to consistently keep the promises you make to you, you will begin to stack upon that self-confidence.
There's things that you know you're supposed to do as a human being. Things that you know are going to improve your life. Do those things.
We can control what we feel. We can control what we do. We can control what we focus on. When we take control of that, we're able to take control of the inner world. There's only two worlds you can master. The external world, that's how you achieve things. That's how you convert your dreams into reality. How do I take what I dream out and manifest it in the real world, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, whatever? They're real great masters of the external world, but inside, they're a disaster.
How you do anything is how you do everything. This ain't saying, oh man, I gotta do this the way I do that. That little boy talk. We talking mentality, we talking spirit, we talking disposition. We talking about how we show up and how we work for what we say we want without letting situations, circumstances, and people dictate what we bring into an environment every single day.